I love just saying silent count. All right, so okay, another stolen joke this week. All right,
Okay.
there's a boy, a teenager, just got his driver's license. Right, he asked his father, "Hey, what's up? Can I get me a car?" He says, "Ooh, that's asking a lot. I'll tell you what. If you get your grades up, right, if you read your Bible, every day, and if you get a haircut, I'll consider giving you a car." And he says, "Okay." So he goes along. He comes back to him. He's like, "What do you think now, Pops?" And he's like, "Well, you definitely got your grades up, right? I've seen you read your Bible every day, but you still don't have your hair cut." And the teen is like, "Yeah, but I've been reading the Bible, and Jesus, Moses, Samson, all these people had long hair. So I'm trying to reflect them." He was like, "So what do you think now?" He was like, "Yeah, they did all have long hair, but they walked everywhere they went." Little dad joke for you before we start breaking. Before Royce
Shout out to all the
starts
dads on this Mother's Day weekend.
Happy Mother's Day! Shout out to all the dads. Man, let's go ahead and start the show.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to another week of Urban Academia, the podcast edition. I'm your host, J-ZILLA, as usual. I got in the house with me one Royce Massengill from Dadgum, Royce's Rant, and Clean Cut Conversations. How are you, sir?
Hey, yo, what it do, everybody? How y'all feeling? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
And Mother's Day weekend.
As he said, Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there.
To all the fathers out there. We're gonna split that in half.
Yeah, I like it. Like, as long as you split in Father's Day. Because let's be real, we got the most to gain for this. If I can latch on to Mother's Day and have my wife latch on to Father's Day, put a little bit more pressure on people in society to, give us better gifts than ties or tools we already have. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like, what? This all you got for your dear mother on Father's Day? My goodness, right? Put the pressure on.
Right.
Well, no, okay. All right. Before we get into you and I having a back and forth about, this Drizzy Drake stuff, right? We're going to tease that a little bit. Bear versus man. Please explain the scenario. What are women saying out there? And give it the good old Royce flair we're all used to.
The flair. First of all, I think it's a bunch of BS, but I do understand, where y'all are coming from with that. I mean, because let me show my empathy or sympathy by saying, like, I do understand that things like this go on when it comes to graping and it comes to, essay and all of that stuff. So I know it happens, but like, how long, ladies, are you going to make it like it happens to 60, 70, 80% of every woman? 80% of women don't get raped and, essayed. There is a percentage, but let's not make it seem like you just can't trust a man at all. Let's just not be with no man. I don't feel safe with no man. That doesn't make any sense. You rather use a bear. You rather be with a bear. You feel safer with a bear than with a man. That's deep. And I wish the fellas would step up. I wish J-ZILLA would speak on this one, because I felt like it touched your heart. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. So our daughter, this is my college daughter, right? My college girl. She's 19 in college. She comes home with this very scenario. And my wife was like, a man, right? It's like, what about you, Dad? I was like, a man. Like, what are you talking about? There's no competition, which will I rather stumble across. And she was shocked. She was shocked, which told me two things. One, I should probably be having more conversations, right, from a man's point of view about all this stuff going on between men and women, especially the single men and women in today's times, right? And two, oh man. So yeah, I should probably have more conversations. I lost my second point. Hold on, let me get it back.
It's okay. It's all right.
The second thing is that she's in an echo chamber on her college campus. See, on these college campuses nowadays, 90% of the people seem to agree with each other. And that's my very, low estimate. That's my very small sample size, right? My experience. Right? Because I took some classes over there and just, me being me, talking to people. Most of them all believe the same thing, right? Down the line. Very liberal, left-leaning, which is okay. But on either side, people not being willing to have their ideas challenged, that bothers me, right? And I'm with you. This answer for most women bothers me. Is it performative? Are they just taking a jab at men? Right? Because it's safe to say that, sitting at your laptop, that you'd rather come across a bear. I can say, hey, bear, and scare the bear away. It's like, if you're lucky.
Right. But see, I see a lot of this comes out what I've heard from certain individuals. They say, well, I said, is this based off of your personal experience? And it was like, okay, cool. But it's like, let's be real. If this whole question never came up, or this conversation came up about it, and this was never in your mind, nobody ever thought about it, and your little girl's walking out into the woods, and then there's a bear, and then there's a man at the same time. All right, hear me out. Here we go. There's a bear and a man. You're trying to tell me that you feel safer. You feel for your child's safety that the bear is going to protect that child more than what a man stranger would. I really think that no matter how good or bad of a human being you are, I think there's good in everybody where it's like, hey, I'm going to protect this little girl from this bear. I'm not going to take the girl from the bear and be like, man, boo-boo, I got her first. Because now the bear's after both of us. So what we gonna do?
Right, man.
It don't make sense. Like we're going back and forth, bro. Like, I mean, you're right about some things on this man and woman thing. It's like, okay, now you hurt my feelings, ladies. You hurt our feelings. That hurts. Now we can't protect you. Is this the message we're sending? Yeah, I get upset with that. And at the same time, I'm mad at us as men as a whole to be like, okay, what are we doing to make women feel that way? How about that?
Yeah. I mean, and so, okay, you look at a couple of numbers. How many women were, dealing with rape or some sort of sexual assault? And that's from any degree, right? And that's about 442,754 women per year.
Okay.
And this is reported or, accounted for. So it's a lot. But then you ask, how many women are in the U.S., right?
Remember, I think we went through this on the women. I think they outnumber us.
Yeah, it's 168.6 million women.
That's well over half.
But you cannot discount that these women, the 400, less than 500,000 of the actual reported cases versus the, near 200 million women in the United States alone. Like that says something about the psyche and the sentiment and what's being pushed out here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's this thing that happens all the time. Whenever we're trying to do good for a certain protected, member or whatever, it usually comes back to going too far and then easing back and then achieving some sort of equilibrium. Right?
Yes.
That's part of what's happening.
If they started the sentence off like this by saying, from my experience, right? From my experience, from an essay or a grade, due to the whatever's doing to me psychologically, I would choose something else over a man at this moment in my life because I'm traumatized by it. I'd rather them say that than just be like, hey, ladies, the ones that haven't been raped or essayed, put your trust in the bear when you're walking out there in the woods alone. And then there's another human being out there that could there's a 50-50 chance the human being, will save you. And even during that time, like I said, they would probably still save you if even if the odds were greater. I think the bear is gonna, play volleyball with the kid, man. But the kid is the volleyball.
So it's a numbers thing, and it made me think about, because here on Urban Academia, everybody's a little bit right, everybody's a little bit wrong. Each of us has something of value to share, right? And it's about that coin flip. So we're gonna flip the coins here. There are about 340,000 bears in the United States.
It's a lot of bears.
66 fatal human/bear conflicts. Right?
Just 6 of them? 66?
66.
Okay, 66
and
bears.
Non-fatal
yes.
interactions, less than a dozen.
All right, I can combat that. I can combat that. Even if it is 66. What woman who has a daughter, because y'all made the scenario, ladies. What woman would just set your child out there in the woods? The only reason why it's not that many is because the percentage of women that you just stated are now out in the woods. See, these people that were in there were just hiking, just doing the thing, la 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 la, right? But no, put your child out there in the woods, la 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 la, all by themselves, and just
the numbers do bear true. They're in more danger from men by the numbers than bears.
Yeah, if you want to look at it by the numbers, but see, that's when it becomes subjective based on, once again, those people that got attacked by bears, they probably do regular hiking, right?
Right.
But put those 300, no, let's do this. Let's just say those 120 million women, and they all have children. So 60 million girls. Put 60 million girls in the woods. Right? And then, with the same ratio of bears, put 50 million bears. What do you think is going to happen?
Okay.
We can go all the way up to the top of the numbers. I just think we're hurting each other's feelings. We got to stop. Come on now, bears. It couldn't even be a bear.
Ceasefire 2024. Let's go. Between men and women.
You can get bit by a mosquito with something else in it. You can get bit by
or HIV.
You can get bit by a mountain lion or a panther, cougar, wildcat, fox. Stop it,
Any
y'all.
of them can have rabies, which is deadly to us, right?
All of that.
But okay, but you hit it earlier, right? Because sometimes it's not a matter of what's actually happening; it's about how are y'all feeling and why, right?
Yes.
So we could talk about some of the solutions, right, fellas out there, the rules of engagement. Because I've been coming for a ceasefire for a while now. Let's all just stop, put everything on pause. Let's only have conversations, figure out what the rules of engagement are. And then by that, we figure out who we want to, put our energy in and who we don't.
Listen to you.
That's a good. Come on, man. Let's compromise, right?
Of course.
If you're outside of whatever we all come up with, like nobody's gonna frap with you. Isolation is the biggest punishment for us humans.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I feel like I know the solution. I feel like all of them know the solution, especially all the a-hole men out there and you little F-boys.
Wait. I'm sorry. Let me give you your space because this seems like a clippable moment. Here we go. You ready? Go.
All right, yeah. So I feel like I have a solution to this situation. All right. So hey, that's funny. It doesn't do the echo when it's solo like that. So all right, I have a solution for that situation. This is just my opinion, but I highly believe in it. And this is coming from a former F-boy and a former A-hole. For all you former F-boys and A-holes out there, or even the ones that still are, I feel like the women are saying this in a metaphorical way by saying, I might as well be with the bear because I don't feel safe with you because you've touched me in the wrong way. You've hurt me in a certain way. You've talked to me a certain way. Or if I didn't want to speak to you, you still harassed me. We got to put up with all these things. I get it. I get that part. Now, it was a dagger, but I think it's gotten to that point with you guys to where it's like, okay, men, we can't be mad at that situation. If we really think about it, we have caused a lot of problems in relationships. We have been F-boys and we have been A-holes. And we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we've done because that's why they're feeling that way. I feel like it's just a circle. It's coming right on back. Gentlemen, we're going to have to change our ways with these ladies. We have to make them feel safe. Let's keep them in safe situations. If you're not trying to be with them, don't try to start no relationship. Don't sell them no dream. You tell them where you are. Just be honest with them because we start to do all this pandering and we start to love them and stuff. And they think that they're feeling secure. And next thing you know, we run off and cheat. And now they don't feel protected anymore, health-wise. It's deeper than a physical thing of getting beat up. Let's talk about STDs. Make your woman feel safe. I'm telling you this from experience, man. It hurts. And I feel you, ladies, but it's BS to say that. But let's not get every woman to jump on that train. Just learn from it to say, okay, I'm going to have to have a few more checkpoints before I dive deep into a relationship with this man. We need some proper vetting.
I like that. Proper vetting, checkpoints, all great solutions. This is
what about you? I hear you.
Man, listen, I feel like I have a cheat code. I honestly do. I almost feel bad for people out there. You know?
Because you're married? You got the cheat code?
I'm married. I'm a Christian, right? I'll try to walk that walk as much as I talk the talk, right? It can be difficult, but you know, I'm still growing in my Christianhood, right? But it's very simple, right? For the word, what it says is that you can tell the tree by the fruit that it bears.
Facts.
So what are the fruits then, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. It's 9 types of fruit or pieces of one giant fruit, however you want to imagine that. So it's very simple for we Christians, or it should be. If you are showcasing those fruits of the Spirit, you're okay with me. I'm going to let you in. I'm going to befriend you. I'm going to give you my time, my energy, right? If you do not, I'm going to try to avoid you, man, best I can. I still want to talk to you and help you, because the Bible also says that, like, you know, help the foreigners, help the people outside faith, you know, help the people who are in the faith and fall, get back on their feet, right? But if they are not receptive to your help, because a lot of times we get caught in the trap of unsolicited help.
Right.
Like, you know, hey, man, can I help you with it? Man, nobody asked you for no favor. Like, oh, okay, sorry. You know,
yeah, buddy,
that happens. That happens. So it for me, it's just a flow chart. If someone, and not just my friend, like what would mess me up in my relationships with my friends is seeing them mistreat other people. And then because they don't do it to me, we remain friends. It wasn't until later that it started to affect me. Then I woke up to it, and I thought, I feel bad for them because I probably could have been steering them in a better direction this whole time. Like, hey, why'd you yell at that waiter? They're just doing the best they can, you know? Yeah. So if they showcase, you know, fruits of the Spirit, good job. Showcase anything other than that, I got to dust my sandals off and keep it moving.
You got to.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to give me a headache now. You know, it's been beating me up in my head for the longest time. I'm like, all right, look. Because this is going to keep going and going, right? What's going to be the next situation to where it's like, all right, how far do you want us to go?
Speaking of a headache and getting beaten up and then going on, and how far is this going to go?
Let's go.
Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
What's up? Why it seems like it's touching your soul, sir?
It really is, because you know what I feel like the person who is winning in all this is J. Cole. He had the right idea. Let me get out of here. Like, because I'm sure he had people like, man, he got this on Drake, and Drake is about to talk about this. They about to hurt each other's families. It's like, man, no, man. Like, I don't even know why I even did this stupid stuff, man. Frap this, I'm out. Right? Like, that's the bravest, boldest thing I've seen ever in a rap battle. Someone just said,
that's cool.
Nah, I'm out.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you know, gracefully bow on that situation. Like, but all I'm saying is like, it don't make anybody's decision better than the other, because I think we tend to forget about the art of hip hop, the competitiveness, the ciphers, the rap battles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, rap battles, they go, check your history. You can just go with Jay-Z and Nas. You know what I'm saying? You can go with LL Cool J and what's my other guy's name?
Oh,
anyway, all of these
Cannabis? Was it Cannabis?
Yeah, it was Cannabis. There you go. Yeah. You know, Eminem and Benzino. Like, look, man.
That's not even.
And I understand the Tupac and Biggie thing, but that was deeper than rap, though. See, we're talking about just like friendly battles of bars. That's all.
And just do that. Like, why do you got to bring family into it? Why do you got to bring the homies in it without any sort of? I'm talking about on Drake's part.
Yeah,
he mentioned. I think he was the first one to mention somebody, right? He mentioned Whitney, right? The Bodyguard line, right? Because there was a rumor about the Bodyguard, and then of course the Bodyguard, the famous movie with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. that double triple entendre going there.
Yeah.
So he did kind of fire first at family, right? This idea that I was trying to keep it PG, like
yeah. I mean, that's what he said.
I don't think anybody could have expected that sort of a response
from Kendrick or from Drake.
From Kendrick.
Oh, from Kendrick. I don't know about that because look, man, look. You call me a Ken Stan if you want. You know what? I fell in love with him in 2010. Pause. And I already knew what type of artist he was. And I said, man, if anybody tries to get at this dude, he's going to, he's one of those dudes like, I literally don't like to bother nobody. I like to be my world stuff and create my masterpieces. But then, you start to mess with me. I got this other side of this Gemini that's going to let you know what it is. And you need to know. Sometimes you got to pop out and show dudes. That's what he said. You got to show them. Pat Williams said it.
And listen, I'm okay with all of that.
Yes.
Have the pedophiles or what's the
replacement? Come on, man.
I don't want to say it. Said
you're okay.
You're
always talking about discernment and feelings and stuff, right? Listen to me. And this is Josh and Johnny. They're listening whenever they listen. It's like, listen, bro. They can attest to this. I told them about Diddy 15 years ago. I'd never met Diddy in my life. Never spoke to him or nothing like that. But I had that feeling. I knew there was something funny about this dude when I was watching him on the band in 2003.
Oh, and that. But knowing what you know now about
it all works out. Y'all thought Jack White was crazy. She's been saying this.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. It's a discernment. You know, there's certain artists I can look at now and say, yeah, he got that thing. He got that thing. He got that.
Right. But it's one thing to be private. It's one thing privately. Tell your boys to post and perpetuate that.
They'll be all right.
Do you have any? He will be all right. He's very, very rich.
No, but go ahead. I'm gonna answer the question.
But do you? Is there? Because I asked for proof and you sent me some videos and I watched it. and I was like,
you didn't watch that live video when he was on stage with the 17-year-old kid and he kissed her 3 times. Talked about,
after she said she was 17.
He still kept going, didn't he? Yeah. After she said she was 17.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said, "Why you look like that? You thick." Then at the end, he gave her a kiss on the forehead, the 2 times of the cheek, and then a kiss on the lips. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's much.
Oh, it takes us one time. Just one time. That's all. In front of a crowd. That's enough evidence. What more do you need to play off for a rap battle?
Because he's talking about his peoples and all that, right? Because if you think about celebrities and their weird behavior, like even one of my favorite movies and things to do, right? So one of my favorite movies is Fellowship of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. Okay, I'm a big old nerd in that way. And they were talking about the scenes, Liv Tyler, which is the daughter of, Aerosmith lead man, right? Okay, I think she was 14 at the time. And then, what's his name? Viggo Mortensen, right? Way older. And they had to have these like make out scenes or whatever, right? Like we could talk about this in a myriad of different ways of what we say is okay and what we say is not okay, right? But what I'm talking about with this Drake business, like he's calling out there's so many registered offenders in Drake's camp. And like,
you can look on the sex offenders list and see their addresses.
Right. And see, this is stuff that I was saying, like, I didn't even look at any of that.
You have to be aware of that. I mean, that's public information. So who do you blame? Us or the government? They made it available.
No. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying,
stay away.
And how many was it? At
least 12. It was about 12 I counted.
12 of them, and they're registered offenders.
Yep. And you know that you had to have an address, right? They got to know where you're at. So they would use Drake's address, not to say they probably lived there, but it seems to be a central hub to be like, I know where to find these cats.
Right.
So Drake is hosting pedophiles.
And as a famous
sexual offenders.
And as a famous person, how many times do you think that happens? Where
what, sexual, like pedophilia?
No. A registered offender will use a famous person's address.
Well, no, I'm just saying if they're your homeboys, they're part of your crew, yeah. They because in court they need an address, and right now under Drake's power, it's almost okay. You're responsible for these people. Then since you're Drake, we're gonna go and let it slide. Come on. He's broke all types of regulations in Canada as far as his land and stuff like that. Built in there, and they allow him to do it. So it's just the music industry. He can do what he wants. But then Drake is responsible at the end of the day. You know, if they're wilding and doing other stuff.
Yeah, so
you know what it is in the industry. Okay, why are we playing everybody? We know what goes on in the music industry.
We know what goes on in the music industry. I'm just saying this is something you should be very careful of, right? Because in this right here, my Google search is turning up nothing, and you finding all that information. Like as you're laying at my feet, I'm just like, well, that's a wrap. Like, go ahead, Kendrick. Like, I don't know what to say to that. You know what I mean? Like, but this, we can have since you just bodied that debate, right? We can have a different conversation now about why are our algorithms so different. You know what I mean?
You and I?
Yeah, me and yours, anybody else online.
Yeah, because of what we look for. It's really what we look for.
Yeah, but being aware of that is one thing, and then following through with that is another, right?
Okay. Now explain the follow through.
Well, like me and you, right? Because I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see anything. They're not saying anything. So like, and this is Google search. I wouldn't even know like where to start to look for this stuff. Maybe that's part of it, right? I don't have a lot of experience in this at all. And
we forget too what he, you know, these are things he's done years ago that we just kind of just said, oh shoot, we didn't think nothing of it. And then when somebody brings out, it's like, wait a minute, you know, he. It is kind of suspicious. I mean, when you see something on stage like that, right there, and then you're looking at it, it's just interesting because see, when you're famous, mommy will send you off, send a little teenage girl off with Drake. You know, to be famous. It's okay. He can text her in the middle of the night or say he misses her and talks about boys at age 14 years old when he's 29.
Careful now. Are those
allegedly?
You say those some messages?
But that's what. It's not even allegedly. That's on the interview. It's right there.
On what interview?
What's her name? Millie Brown? She talks about Drake texting her at age 14. They talk about boys, and he said he misses me so much.
Again, the one that I saw,
can't do that.
The one that I saw, she didn't have anything like that. They were asked her straight up about why you unfollowed, right? And she just says like, well, I guess the world would never know. She laughs about it. She moves on, but she's like, yeah, we're fine. Like we talked like X amount of time ago. I don't remember the exact words. But yeah, no mention of text, no mention of her age, right? So how do we even trust the information?
No, it's not a mention of the age. She's on a red carpet interview, and they're asking her, hey, she said, her and Drake, they text all the time. She's 14 years old at this time. All right, and this is her coming out of her mouth. And he said, he touched me, he said, he misses me so much. Cool.
Wait, are we talking about like, what are we talking about?
Saying that. I think her name is Millie Brown.
No. Millie Bobby Brown was,
or whatever that. Yeah. The other
Stranger Things. The one who has the weird I'm gonna say weird podcast, but like so they did
not Bobby Olof or whatever. It's
no, that's Millie Olof. I thought that's what you were talking about. You were talking about Millie Bobby Brown. See,
that kid. She does that kid
from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And you're saying that Drake texted her inappropriate things underage?
I'm not saying that. She says that this is at age 14.
Yeah.
Okay. She says that her and Drake text frequently. She even described the text that he said that he misses her so much. Oh, okay, that's cute. But what do you guys talk about? Well, he puts me on, we talk about boys and stuff like that. Oh, but what he talks about? Well, we'll just try to, we'll keep that private, But here's my thing. See, people look at it and think that it's not a problem, right? Because it's Drake. He's famous. The man's 30 years old. Just texting your daughter like they just cool. You just met her because she's in the industry. It's not like she's family. Would you be okay, fathers and sisters, mothers, right?
Right.
Somebody that wasn't famous was texting your 14-year-old daughter, and this man is 30 years old talking about, I miss you so much. And he's putting you on game with these boys.
Survey says no. Whether they're famous,
but because it's Drake.
No, famous or not. And
or not.
Here's what I'm saying. That is creepy, right? We already know he's a lame, right? But that is creepy.
What? Really? Lame? Did I just hear you? Please, sir. Where's the evidence of that?
What do you
Is
mean?
it your discernment?
There's plenty of evidence of him just literally talking like a lame. Dad jokes. I'm aware because I'm part of the same sort of clan, right? And lame, while lame is a subjective term, right?
Is it?
Using the N word with the hard ER, the blackface thing, the Jewish, play he tries to do to try to fit in with all these different groups, right? Like that's lame behavior. My wife has this thing she calls loser juice, right? He's not a loser. Okay. He's wildly successful and talented.
Okay.
But he is just dripping in loser juice.
Right? Sweat.
Right. That stuff is creepy. So the larger conversation, because again, my biggest thing is like, I can't believe you got all that information and I can't find any of it.
You can't find it. Oh, that's interesting.
Right. So even the video that you sent me, I was like, wow. So I try to, type in and look for more.
Yeah.
Right. Can't really find it. Right. And you can do the deep conspiracy theory like, ooh, is he covering stuff up? But yeah. So we'll take it. Let me try to steer it to another direction. All right?
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar. The things he is saying about a mixed black man, right? Do you think he's aware of what that does to other mixed kids in the community? Or is it at this point?
Yeah, I think everybody has to hear that. You're speaking truth. If we want to put
which part? It's the truth
dagger about mixed children.
About what?
About mixed children, about mixed people. Period.
What, like dropping the N-bomb?
Why do we act like there are mixed people out there that look like they kind of stutter before they say the word and they don't say it right? It's almost like they do deal with acceptance on what culture what side are they on, the white side, and most of the time they're with the Caucasian mother, and usually the father's black and not around as much. Those that are seem to be pretty well mannered and in sports and got good education, but the ones that suffer the loss of a father being absent, everything like that, and they're with their Caucasian mother.
Right.
They try to blend in on the black side, because the white side is easy. You're dealing with your mom, she's introduced you to all her friends, and then just like Drake, even how he talks. I'm gonna say white only because as a culture, he talked like that. That 90210, come on, guys. That was Drake. That's Aubrey. And it's okay, Aubrey. I like the Aubrey. You the best. I like that. No Diddy. It's just he tries too hard, and there are mixed people out there who try too hard to be in the black culture. And honestly, I encourage you just be yourself. Embrace whatever. The black culture. I mean, there's so many.
Let me let you think on it. Let me let you think on it. I'm gonna filibuster a little bit. Here's the thing. Because that line hit me in a very special place, right?
Okay.
The idea that I don't usually, drop N-bombs, right? And when I do, it sounds funny to me and my friends. They're like, okay. You know what I mean? We just weren't raised on that, weren't raised around that, even though it was all around us in the hood.
Okay.
Right? I was born in Dallas, Texas, South Oak Cliff. Right? Shout out to Oak Cliff, right? And then I moved, and we were always in some pretty, we'll say non-affluent neighborhoods. See what I did there? Okay. Right? But my mother, she valued reading. She valued, speaking correct English and things like that. Right? And I was made fun of for finishing up homework before I went and played basketball. I was made fun of for how I talked, and I was black, but I wasn't black. Like, what the crap does that mean? Because I guarantee you, when I got old enough to drive, I was getting pulled over like a black person.
Right.
I had a cop tell me one time, I thought your brake light was out. Do you mind if I search your car? Like, no, thank you, sir. Right.
That was smooth. That was a finesse.
Right. Like, wait, you thought it's not out though. So may I be on my way? You pulled me over because it was up. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Okay. Right. My ideal of like what is culture when someone like me who speaks a certain way like is not a part of it. Like I'm not as violent. Like I don't have the smooth, like we're more than just that, right?
Right.
So what is your definition of culture? And then why should Drake stay the crap away from it?
I think culture is being a product of your environment. It's the surroundings. Based on, really culture is just off of how your environment is set. Because your environment affects your attitude, your psyche. If you live in areas that are run up and done up, 12 from the flow up.
Right.
what they say, cleanliness is next to godliness, and so in that way, a clean room, gives you a clean mind. Just to think on other things that could excel your endeavors and stuff, anything that God has for you. But if you're in an environment where it's cluttered, you're gonna have a cluttered mind, and therefore you start creating mayhem and stuff.
So the thing that separates Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, right? Besides, one of those gentlemen has 4 black grandparents.
He got who?
Has 4 black grandparents.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's one of the things Kendrick Lamar said, right? So
that was tough.
So besides that and complexion, right? Is it the growing up in Canada with his mother primarily?
Yeah, he grew up in the Jewish community.
Yeah. And so
he's embraced the Jewish side.
So usually people like that, they go seeking for the other part of them, right? And it seems like he desperately, like, how many black features do you need to do before you feel that you're black enough, right? I know that had to affect Drake.
Of course it did.
Whenever I go back home to Dallas, shout out Oak Cliff, right? He said that's why. So anytime I go back home and I will come back, like we'll go for like Christmas break and come back. Like all my friends at Spring Hill High School, which is a predominantly white school in Columbia, Tennessee, would be like, man, you sound so different, right? Right? Something about trying to be a part of family and then picking up the lingo, picking up, almost a little bit of swag, right?
Right.
And then bringing it back, and then that slow adjustment back to like, yeah, but that's not me, Like I don't know what to do with someone like that. Like I can't tell them to stay away from the culture. You ain't culture. You're not allowed. Yeah. So what is Kendrick saying, like, to people who are not like Drake? Like I'm just light skinned, and I was growing up in a nice neighborhood, taught to speak correct English. I keep a clean house, a clean yard, and because of that, disqualifies me as being part of the culture.
Yeah, no, man. The culture is everywhere because we think about it. Kendrick is a black man. He may have been from the hood and stuff like that, but his mind, it's like black hippie think tank type stuff. It's not ghetto theology. He's smart as hell. I think it just takes a certain type of people. You can be hip hop and not be from the hood. You can still be black and not from the hood because black culture has subcultures. You got hood people, you got your ghetto people, you got your middle class suburb people. Some of the ones that kind of get in a little mischief, not too bad because there's consequences back at home. Your mom and daddy gonna be there to discipline.
And that's found in every race, by the way, right?
True,
Irish
but
mob,
we're speaking specifically
the
black,
Italian mob, German, Russian mob, right?
All those cultures, it's like hip hop. I mean, thank God for Kanye West because he represented like those kids that were going to college like myself. And even though you wanted to quit, you still went through with it. But I understood why he did because he had a dream. But he still carried that college persona. Remember the backpacks with the polos? Look at us, it's like, oh man, somebody, but we can still float, man. We don't have to be hardcore drugs.
Right.
So there's subcultures within I think in the black community. So for all the mixed children out there and the mulattoes and stuff like that, I hate to say it like that, but whatever environment you're in, just embrace it. But I would say educate yourself on your history. That's on both sides. And then let your heart guide you to whatever it needs to be.
So Drake, right? He had a line back in the day when you couldn't refute that there were ghostwriters right there. It was definitely just him before he came up, right? Where he says, talking about black versus white women, right?
Okay.
And excuse the language out there, right? He says it's all pink on the inside. Forget whatever color their face is. He goes, wise words from an indecent man. You know what I mean? So like
that's typical that a mixed person would say.
Yeah, well, like trying to come back and figure out that side of him, right? and then find this rich culture, right?
Right.
Now, Kendrick did something so brilliant as far as diss tracking, right?
Yeah.
Literally him coming at Drake about all his features, right? You needed this person because you weren't popular in Atlanta. You needed this person because your lingo went up. Like, but isn't that what a skilled person would do if they're trying to imitate this? Like,
there you go. There goes the key word. Imitate. It's not authentic. So
right, but is any of this stuff?
Sense,
but is any of this stuff?
No, look, bro. There's a difference between imitation and then indoctrination. You know, in the hip hop indoctrination. Okay. And there's imitators and perpetrators and culture vultures out there acting the part, but they don't understand the history. You feel me? Like you got
to
people
do what? To make money, right?
Yeah.
Y'all out here
to
doing
me, I think
to
you expect to be in a culture or in a genre of music and not know the history. If you're gonna mimic it, at least know where we get.
Do you think that Drake doesn't know the history? Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about his persona. We're talking about his persona, how he acts, and then
I don't think he knows much about Black history except for what was taught in schools in Canada. What he probably heard.
Well, that makes sense because I mean, you think about it, they got a whole other type of history up there.
But I bet J. Cole knows.
Yeah, but J. Cole's in the North Carolina. Like, come on, man, don't do that.
I'm saying culture. It's culture.
Like, it's culture because, like you said, it's what's around him. He didn't have that around him. That's not his fault that his father wasn't around.
Yes,
right?
That's an example.
Boo-hoo, sad story, Black American Dad story. That's another early Drake line, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's not his fault, right? But fine. He comes trying to find a part of himself. He likes what he sees. He starts to imitate, and then he's using that to make money. But he's also putting these guys on tour with him, on stage with him, including one Kendrick.
But it's very slick. You know when people are doing this stuff just to, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's just say you may think, okay, look, I know they probably really don't influence me like that for real. But like, I'm just gonna keep doing the solid. Drake is the type of person where any new artist that comes on the scene, right? Whether he know him or not, or whether he may not even like the music, he just sees all the game popular. He'll hop on there and throw my alley-oop. So in his pocket, he plays chess. He's like, oh shoot, if I ever get in the back or anything like that, I know I got young boys, you know what I'm saying, right here. I done hook with this free of charge, you know what I'm saying, spread no expense for you, good, this is when I need you. Just make sure, you what's the word? You take up for Drake, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just do that. That's what I think he does. My discernment tells me he's slick. And he uses.
And you're saying that's something that's like, man, I can't rap with Drake anymore, right? If all of the assault stuff was like gone, you're saying I'm not rapping with Drake because he's just using.
I think Drake is messy and he will steal your girl. He will steal your girl.
Come on, man.
Do
like
not
Trey Songz literally says, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like every rapper, every hip hop artist has said that at some point in time. Don't bring your girl around me, true player for real. Right? So I'm saying, like, we can't use those things as like, oh,
no. There's more. Like, see, that's just the surface thing. He'll steal your girl. The thing about stealing your girl is that he'll do the things where, let's just say he may not like you because, like, you know, saying you want your girl, but you don't know that, and so you know he come out with a new song. Yeah, your dude ain't good enough for you.
Yeah,
I saw you yesterday at the grocery store.
Loser juice.
He be doing that stuff.
Loser juice.
Messy.
Just loser
that
juice.
That dress wearing. I saw which man. Come on, bro.
Loser juice. But don't act like that happens all throughout that industry. That industry is rot with that.
Right? I don't trust Drake.
Fair enough. Why would you trust Drake?
Ladies, would you rather have Drake along with your daughter or a bear?
So now you're getting back to the sexual assault stuff, right?
Yes.
He's a creep. Fine. But I'm saying this idea of people who are part of the culture telling people who are not part of the culture.
Yes.
That's something I've felt. And I told you my story. And I'm saying speak on that aspect of it. Of these gatekeepers, because you say that, like, oh yeah, he's slick and he's using them for whatever, and it's like, okay, fine, that's a brutal business. But how many of these people are just saying, hey, if you spin his record, don't play none of mine, it's gonna be a cease and desist. Like, okay. And brilliant artists talking to one right now, can't get that sort of movement because there are a bunch of gatekeepers above him who are like, no. Either you're a threat or they don't feel you're good enough. Right? And who are they to frap and tell anybody? That's what I love about, podcasting and the internet in general. It's got a lot of freedom attached to it and a lot of opportunity.
It's a gift and a curse.
Well, but you got these people who are like, what Drake is doing is like, but he still made you millions of dollars.
Oh,
right?
Yes, he did.
Right? What do you say? Your first number one, I have to put it in your hand. You know what I mean? Like Kendrick
Lamar.
Lamar.
That's not true.
Kendrick Lamar. Well, for Future?
No, you're talking about. You're talking about Future had number one before he had Drake.
What?
When he was in there, he had one with Kelly Rowland. He had one with
no. Singles. Like it's
just
by
himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing with Kendrick Lamar by himself, not counting the ones with Taylor Swift or Drake or Cole, but like literally him by himself. This is the first time he's got a record with just him on it. Gold number one.
What they got to do with
thanks to Drake. Right. But I'm saying this is thanks to Drake, right?
Man, forget all that. I don't know.
No. Here's where I'm going. With this. Well, you don't have to think. You're right. You're still in the rap beef. The idea is, man, okay, they are both winning off of this. They're both eating off of this. Everybody is, content and making off of this, right?
Yes.
This is good for the industry most of all because they own the place, they own the place. As much as both of them like to talk about their boss, it's probably Japanese guy in his daggum koi pond back in Japan who owns Sony, that owns a bunch of other stuff, that owns the thing that he works with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm saying, like, you look at one, like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to look at this sort of industry and say, oh man, he's just using them. He's like, everybody in that industry uses them. At least he's putting them on while using them versus these other rappers who just try to crush people so they don't even see the light of day.
But he's paying. I'm telling you, my discernment. I'm telling you, it's telling me it's a psychological. It's just like the same feeling I have with Diddy, from Usher, from all these people that came to be true.
Right.
Drake does this because he's trying to build his army of.
And I'm saying, so what?
But it's not. That's very vindictive. It's very because it's not genuine. You're not creating genuine friendships. It's like, I just kind of need my maybe in a rap battle.
But isn't that the industry? Isn't that what J. Cole was talking about? Like, really, I ain't friends with any of these people. None of them.
That's how Kendrick feels. See, I like that mentality, right? See, that's what I mean. I couldn't be around Drake. I'll do a track with him. But bro, we can't hang out after that. I don't trust that, man.
And that's fair.
He may cut your track because he like your girl.
Right.
Yeah, see what happened. Your man ain't good enough.
So you're saying multi-millionaire, 84 city tour personnel can be petty? That's what you're
money
saying.
Don't change a thing.
I'm not saying money. I'm not saying money. Like, man, I'm saying there's a lot of that going on. And you can point to hang on. There's a lot of that going on in that industry. And you can point to a rare few. I think J. Cole, I think that what's his face? I say, definitely Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. Like, but how many J. Cole's and Kendrick Lamars are out there? Like, one dude's riding a bicycle through New York City. The other dude, you don't even know what his family really look like and what they do for real. He's that private. But how many people are like that? I'm saying movie stars. I'm saying musicians. Right? How many of those people are so private and really down to earth?
Very few. Those are the ones that I like. The ones out there that are putting themselves out there and doing that. You are subject to be talked about, be reported about. Because you put it out there. Just like I said, there's consequences to your actions. You know, the internet is out here, and you put yourself out here, and you may be posting lies, and then when we believe it, it's like, nah, y'all need to stop believing these lies. But you just said the lies to us. And now you change your mind because you realize that now we're believing the lies.
Now there's consequences to it.
So now you got to deal with the people. All power to the people. You're going to get this work if you act berserk.
Right. And the one thing he cares about, the love of the beloved black community. Right.
It's gone now.
Gone. There's no chance of that now. If he thought it was hard before, but he's still gonna be a wild artist because he is,
He's got the white crowd. The white people
get
get rich.
Yeah.
All this show is cool. It's cool. Drake has the ladies. And when you have the ladies as an artist, you have won financially. You're good.
Now, him talking about, like, so here's a point I would love to get to. I would love to see rap turn to what Kanye West called, right? Speaking of a lane. Mm-hmm. Right? I love Kanye. I'm probably closer to a Kanye than I am a Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Right? Talking about, what I think Charlamagne the God said, the leader of the lames, right? Kanye West. Like,
wow.
as soon as he got involved, he was like, I don't want to deal with him anymore. Right?
Dang.
But Kanye West said something very poignant. He said that Drake is a professional rapper. He's wildly talented, right? He's got the right complexion. He talks in the right ways at the right times. Like, he's a professional rapper. I will take nothing away from it, right? But is he culture? Is he like one of us? Like, well, no,
he's not.
Right. And you know what? Good for him. Good on you, sir. Right?
No, I'd rather him be where he belongs naturally. Because you're hurting us and you're confusing us.
Who is he hurting and confusing that's not being hurt and confused by the boss, Rick Ross, Kanye West, who his whole album was about?
He's children that can't think past A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. They don't want to experience.
So you want to get rid of rappers who are
misogynistic? No. Misogyny is good in some cases. That's about
misogyny is good. Wait. Hang on. Can we end it there?
Some of your favorite rap songs.
And just finish next week. Hey, can we finish there?
Yeah, we can start right there.
Wait. I'm right.
Yeah, remember what was said, but it was already recorded, you know.
Yeah. Make sure you rewatch. Look, you got to come back
next week.
Misogyny
is good. Remember that.
Misogyny is,
but not all the time. But you leave it at that. Misogyny is good.
This is good, man. So look, tell the people real quick, what's one of your favorite podcasts in the world, one of your favorite hosts, and where they can find you?
Well, I mean, outside of yourself, brother, because you know what I'm saying? I like the conversations that we have, and this is just dealing with my personal experience on being on other people's podcasts. You know what I mean? But out there in that world of the big wigs all out there, man, I got to give a shout out to, to Joe Budden podcast, man. I always love Joe Budden and just how he just don't care. He just speaks his mind. You feel what I'm saying? And for myself, man, I love myself. I'm beginning to love myself a lot more. So, Royce's Rant will be on in June. You feel what I'm saying? So I hope y'all ready because I'm going to make y'all mad and happy and sad all at the same time. You can find me right under there that you see that name, Royce Massengills, at Royce's Rant everywhere. Also, check out Clean Cut Conversations with my boy, Josh Lovett, and myself. And we have great guests. And we speak about Black men and health and love and money and social matters and all that stuff. So check us out. You know what I'm saying? Urban Academia in the building, man. Thanks for your support, brother.
No problem, man. Always welcome to come back. Look, I'm not gonna even give a last word or anything. This conversation is not over. Misogyny is good. You had a little something flicker there when I said Kanye West was the leader of the lanes.
It did flicker. My eyebrow.
I'm gonna write that down too, right?
Yeah. My iron went low after that.
But yeah, man. All right. Until next week, we're gonna have a part 2 to this conversation, man. Just tune in. Peace. For you. For you. Well, hang on. Don't go nowhere. I got about 3 minutes or so. Hey, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I hate that because I was like, I'll take the opposite. Right. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Wait a minute.